Here I am dropping another god release. We're going over Shiva the Destroyer today. I honestly thought there probably would be some changes to Shiva. I tried him out in PTS. I saw lots of videos of him in PTS. And frankly, he was really strong. I would even argue broken. His early potential to get kills and gank easily with almost no penalties is very high. It is stupid easy to snowball with him. And, well, honestly, to no one's surprisement, Irish is just like, nope, this is good enough. Put him in the game. We'll deal with it later. And that's exactly what they did. So here we are on release, about a week after making the God Guide for him. And I'm gonna show you some clips here of some of the bullshit that Shiva can do before we get into the guide. And then we'll continue with the usual. And there you go. There really isn't much else for me to show. That's how you play Shiva. Grab Shiva, get into a match, stomp some skulls in, and hopefully don't get yours stomped on by the enemy Shiva. Yeah, there's just not much else for me to really show. He's pretty simple to play, so get into a match, pick him up, and let's go for it. That's the video. I'ma just go. Have a great day, and I guess I'll see you in my next video when Hyris decides to release the next god. Have a good day, everybody. Bye. Okay. I'm just joking. So, I hereby welcome everybody to the guide for Shiva the Destroyer. By the way, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really does help. Thank you. Alright, fine. We'll go over Shiva. We're gonna change things up a little bit here, though. We're gonna keep the quick guide relatively, well, quick, honestly. We're just gonna be very brief. We're just gonna quickly go over what each ability is, what they do, like specifically pull, stim, etc., etc. show maybe one combo of getting in, getting out, and that's it. If you want more details on the god, there will be a timestamp in the bottom description of my video showing when the comprehensive guide for this video starts. If you want a little bit more detail on what Shiva does, go to that part. Go to that section of my video and you will get more information. So without further ado, let's get to this video. Let's take a look at Shiva's abilities. So Shiva's passive is called Samsara. Basically, there's two stances to this passive. If you are in the Bliss stance, which you automatically start when the match starts, you gain different benefits to all of your abilities. If you want to know what those are, you can take a look in my comprehensive guide where I will go over that. And if you're into the destruction part of Samsara, mostly that pertains to enemy debuffs and such. To switch between the two different stances, you basically can build up this meter from landing auto attacks and abilities on enemy gods and anything that you might land to aid your teammates. Taking a look at Shiva's first ability, Emblazoned Sweep. This is an area effect pull around Shiva. It also puts up a flame wall once the ability has fired. So when I walk up to this Odin and I activate the ability, I pull the Odin towards me and leaves up this flame wall that will damage enemies as they touch them and buff allies as they walk through the flame wall. Shiva's second ability is Tomorrow's Tempo. It is a cone knock up in front of Shiva. The highlighted area is going to be the area that knocks up the enemy when you cast the ability. Shiva's third ability is Shiva's Initiation and Disengage. It is called Pillar of Dawn. Shiva dashes forward, basically catching on fire and causing a radius to spew from him, and then dashes one more time before returning to his normal state. Shiva's ultimate is called Shiva's Tandava. There is 4 different tempos. Actually, sorry, that is wrong. There is 3 tempos with this ability. Basically, this works like Raijin's ult. When you ult, your first, second, and third ability are replaced with something entirely different. You are CC immune, and you also take you also have a 20% damage mitigation. So when I ult, every couple of seconds I will shoot out this tempo, and depending on what key I press before the tempo goes out, it does something entirely different. If you want more details on that, again, look at my comprehensive guide that will be playing after this quick guide. Alright, we're gonna quickly go over one initiation combo and one disengage combo. Shiva's bread and butter initiation combo is pretty much what everybody uses right now. It's pretty easy. You're going to start with Emblazoned Sweep, knocking them up, moving forward, and using Tomorrow's Temple to pull them in. Quickly get a auto in, then use Pillar of Dawn to dash ahead of them, and finish off with Shiva's Tandava, his ultimate, to do a last little extra either poke damage or healing to yourself if you've taken a bit of a beating. I'm gonna quickly show this off. It's pretty simple. Gosh, there's like almost next to nothing that people can do when you're ulting. You're just gonna have to take it. And well, let's go over the disengage combo. Honestly, the best thing you can do as a Shiva to get away, and it's the easiest thing to do, is just to, I'll just show it here on this Odin, quickly turn around, knock him up, and dash away, and then just ult and walk away while casting your one. There's almost nothing anyone can do when you CC immune like this. You're just gonna walk away, and they're not gonna bother chasing you because it's just not worth their time. And there we go, just, you know, keeping it nice and short and sweet, just showing you what he does, what his abilities are, things you can initiate and get out with. So if you feel comfortable enough with that, get into a match and you'll get some wins. The comprehensive guide is going to start very shortly here. Anyone that is leaving, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next videos. Remember, he's kind of bullshit. Oh yeah, this seems fair. Yeah, that. Bye, Neith. Oh, she's back. Thank you for sticking around. We are going to start the comprehensive portion of my video. We're going to be going over Shiva's abilities and what they do in greater detail, some little tips and tricks with certain abilities. We're going to be going over leveling order for Conquest and any other normal game mode when you start past level 1. And we're going to be going over a couple combos and some do's and don'ts, tips and tricks for Shiva. Again, thank you for sticking around and watching further into my video. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out just for the view hours. And let's get this started. Shiva's passive is called Samsara. This is a stance changing ability. You always start in the bliss part of this ability, and then later we'll swap into destruction and then just go back and forth. As you land auto attacks and abilities on enemy gods, the meter will start to build up on the bottom left there. As you can see, the right side of the circle is starting to glow and fill up, and there you go, it just swapped to this yellow flower, now indicating that you're in the destruction part of the stance. Additionally, depending on what part of this stance you are in, each of your abilities have added effects to them, which I will go over with each ability just to keep me from rambling on a little bit longer in the passive explanation. Additionally, when you are in the bliss form, you are giving an additional MP5 and HP5 to yourself and allies around you. While being in the destruction stance, you are removing MP5 and HP5 from enemy gods that are near you. Taking a look at Shiva's first ability, Emblazoned Sweep. This is an area effect around Shiva. This ability pulls enemy gods towards you and then leaves a flame wall on the radius of the ability. Enemy gods that go through this flame wall will take dot damage and will get additional effects depending on what stance Shiva is in from Samsara. When you're in the bliss state of Samsara, you're getting an additional movement speed buff towards yourself and any allies that move throughout the flame wall. If you're in the destruction stance, any enemy gods that go through the flame wall or are hit by the flame wall are getting a protections debuff. Looking at stats, the spin damage is 65 at rank 1 and 285 at max rank, getting an additional physical power scaling at each rank. The fire damage for the flame wall is 10 at rank 1 and 50 at max rank with additional physical power scaling. The movement speed debuff is 20% flat at all levels and it lasts for 3 seconds. The protection reduction that you're giving out when you're in the destruction phase of Samsara is 4 at rank 1 and 20 at max rank. This also lasts for 3 seconds. Your flame wall will persist for a flat 4 seconds at every rank of the ability. Shiva's next ability is Tomorrow's Tempo. This is a cone attack in front of Shiva. You'll also notice that depending on where I am aiming, a certain section of the rectangles in the cone will light up. That is indicating the area where this ability will knock up enemy gods when the ability lands. If you use the ability and they are hit in the non-highlighted area, they're just taking damage from the ability. Now, when this ability lands in the bliss form, you get an attack speed boost. So wait for that to wear off. That's my attack speed normally. And then when I land, as you can see, my attack speed has gone up. Now, when you're in the destruction stance and you land this ability, instead you strip attack speed from enemy gods that you've hit with this ability. Going over stats, the damage at rank 1 is 100, while it's 300 at max rank with additional physical power scaling. The attack speed buff you get in the bliss stance is 25% for 4 seconds, and the attack speed debuff is 25% at in the destruction stance, and both of these last for a flat 4 seconds. Shiva's third ability is Pillar of Dawn. This is his Engage and Disengage ability. There's 2 parts to this. There is the first dash. You can also aim how far you're going to be going. You dash and become a giant pillar of fire with an area effect around you, and then you can dash one more time before returning to normal. When you're in that first part of the dash, there's an area effect, as you can see, that is coming from Shiva. That ties into Samsara, your passive. When you're in your bliss stance and you use that dash and you're sitting there like this, any ally gods that are within that radius are going to get an automatic block stack that lasts for a couple of seconds. And as soon as you do your second dash, Shiva will receive 3 block stacks to himself. Now, when you're in your other stance, the destruction stance, and you dash, you're going to be doing dot damage per second, and then you get to dash again and you return back to normal. This ability also does damage as you pass through enemy gods, on top of the dot damage I just talked about when you're in a destruction state. Diving into the stats for Pillar of Dawn here, the damage at rank 1 when you're in the destruction state is... oh, actually, that's not right. The damage when you are dashing through enemies is 65 at rank 1 and 185 at max rank with additional physical power scaling. The aura damage that comes from you when you're in your destruction stance is 7 at rank 1 and 23 at max rank with additional physical power scaling, and this goes off every 0.25 seconds. The damage... oh, I forgot about that. You also get damage mitigation when you're sitting in that first stance of 30% at all ranks. Shiva's ultimate ability is called Shiva's... I know I'm butchering this, and I'm sorry, Tandava. This is pretty similar to Raijin Salt. It replaces your first, second, and third ability with a different ability when you're in your ult form. You have basically 3 different tempos, is what they call it within the ability. As you activate, you will start dancing. Every second and a half, you'll see that a pulse comes out from Shiva. Now, each one of those tempos does something entirely different. On your first ability key, you are providing a heal to allies, yourself, and mana to yourself. Your second ability key is going to be a 50% damage, basically 50% amplification to your next dance tempo. And your third key is a damage and shield reduction to enemy gods. My little tip when you're using your ultimate is just to simply start with your 2 and then swap to either your 3 or 1 and just keep repeating that. So basically going 2, 1 or 2, 3, and then again going 2, 1 or 2, 3. This ability is the only thing in Shiva's kit that doesn't tie into Shiva's passive Samsara. Additionally, you also get CC immunity when you're ulting and 20% damage mitigation, I believe, when you're in your ult form. This ability is really good for getting out of sticky situations or just chasing someone down to get a quick, easy kill. It also causes a lot of chaos and causes enemy gods to just start running in fear and screaming, because there's not a lot they can really do about you, especially if you're just weaving, bobbing, and weaving and just doing that, because you don't really have to aim because you have a giant area effect coming from you that's doing pulsing damage. Taking a look at the stats here, your first tempo, the healing tempo, does 80 healing at rank 1 and then 160 at max rank with additional physical power scaling. The mana restore on your first tempo is 10% at all ranks. Your second tempo, the amplification boost is 50%. And your third tempo, the damage is 125 at rank 1 and 325 at max rank with additional physical power scaling. The shield damage or shield reduction is 50% at all ranks. Alright, let's take a look at some of these combos for Shiva. Now, everyone knows this combo. This is Shiva's bread and butter. It's the easiest combo you can get off with Shiva. It's also the most reliable combo that you can get off with Shiva at any given point in the match. You're going to start off with Damaro's tempo, knocking up the enemy god, then pulling them in with Emblazoned Sweep, then dashing through them with Pillar of Dawn, doing damage, and then dashing ahead of them, and then hitting them with some autos, or just straight away ulting with Shiva's Tandava and applying the amplification boost and doing the combo of 2, 3, 2, 3 to do damage if I need it, or doing 2-1-2-1 if I need the health and mana. Kind of depends on your situation, very situational on what combo order you're going to be going with. Let's quickly showcase this. Pretty simple, not the hardest thing, but this is literally like every combo you're gonna see most Shivas doing. Shiva's second combo, you're going to start with Pillar of Dawn to close the gap on the enemy that you are chasing. You're then going to pull them in with Emblazoned Sweep, knock them up with Damara's Tempo, and then finish off with your ultimate. Try to get Damara's Tempo off before the user escape, or wait until they use their escape if you know they have them, to slow them down and re-catch up to them. This is what that will look like. Pretty simple. Pretty good. This is like a basic combo you can do with Shiva to close, basically when you're gonna initiate a fight and you're at a distance. Shiva's final initiation combo that I'm going to be sharing, you're going to start in your ultimate, and then you're going to quickly, after you have finished all the dance tempos, you're going to start with Emblazoned Sweep to pull them back towards you. Use Damara's Tempo either right before they can use their escape, or if you know they have an escape, up, wait, and knock them up so you can catch up. Or, you know, you could just quickly use the knock up and then just close the distance with Pillar of Dawn, just anticipating a jump, dashing through them or dashing ahead of them, and then just continue with autos. Let's showcase that. Okay, you're gonna start with the usual 2-3-2-3. Pull them in. I pressed the wrong key there. But that's what that combo looks like. You know, we're actually gonna redo that one more time because that didn't look as clean. Gotta wait for the ability to come off cooldown here. Alright, let's try that again. 2, 3, 2, 3. Pull them in, knock them up, dash through them and ahead of them, and just hit them with autos. Alright, let's go over with escapes with Shiva to get you out of sticky situations. The very easiest thing that you can do with Shiva to get away, and a smart Shiva will hold on to their ultimate for this one reason, so they can get out free. You're going to ult, start walking away, and then once your ultimate is done, you're going to start dashing. In most cases, if you're low health, you're going to be doing 2-1-2-1 and your combo and the dance tempos. Or if you're still full health, do 2-3-2-3 to do damage to anyone that's chasing you, discouraging them from keeping the chase up. Let's just quickly give an example. Just 2-1-2-1. And then just dash if people are still chasing you, and that's a lot of ground I just cleared. Like, that's pretty much a lane's worth of distance I just covered there. The final disengage combo I'm going to share, you're going to quickly pull a 180 and hit the enemy behind you with Damara's Tempo, knocking them up. You're then going to return around and use Pillar of Dawn to start dashing away. If they're still chasing, pop your ultimate and either do your healing combo or the damage combo. So you're gonna quickly snap back, knock up, start dashing away, and the ultimate if you need to make sure that you get out of there. This ultimate is kind of BS, but it makes for a really great escape. And if you're like me and you like to build Pridwin, just for some extra insurance, you're gonna get that nice, juicy, fat shield at the end. Alright, we're going to be taking a quick look into my leveling order that I like to do for Conquest. So now I'm starting at level 1. This is my personal opinion. You don't have to go with this start for at least for the leveling order. This is just what I like to do in my matches. I find it to be the best start in my opinion. I like to put my first point into Damara's Tempo, Shiva's Knockup. For the simple reason that this ability does more base damage at rank 1, and the additional attack speed boost that comes from the ability really helps to do a lot of early damage in the early game. Not to mention, if you're jungler with Shiva and you start with this ability, that knockup is really valuable when you're ganking. Especially if you're going for a really early level 1 gank. I just have a basic level 1 start here, just to see how quickly I can clear this camp. So there we go. I missed that 1 minion on the right or left there. That's fine. As you can see, I have done this camp relatively quick. That was pretty fast. His clear time is not that bad. Now I'm level 2. I'd like to put my second point into Emblazoned Sweep. And then actually putting my third point into Emblazoned Sweep, just because I like the dot damage and damage that's coming from that. My fourth ability point into Pillar of Dawn, and my fifth into Shiva's Tandava. I then will focus on maxing Emblazoned Sweep first, then Damara's Tempo, then Pillar of Dawn, and finally my ultimate. Do's and don'ts for Shiva. There isn't a whole lot because Shiva is pretty unbalanced right now. You can get away with quite a bit. I guess I'll just go over some cons. Cons for Shiva. He hits like a truck. He simply does. You go with the build that I have here in the bottom left corner, which is Sundering Axe, Runeforged Hammer, Gladiator Shield, Berserker Shield, Pridwin, and Amulet of the Stronghold. You're gonna have way more than enough protections, and you're going to be hitting for a lot of damage. Other pros about Shiva is that he's very highly mobile and just very sustainable. He's got a heal. He's got mana restore on his ultimate. Honestly, if you can pop your healing and mana off of the ultimate whenever you are low, even if it's just randomly, it will keep you in a lane and let you get a bit of an EXP lead on certain people. Some don'ts that I can kind of think of, right off the top of my head, is a lot of people seem to think that you are indestructible or just godlike and you can't die with Shiva, which you can. So even though if you're like ahead, and I'm guilty of this because I do it all the time, just because I mean I get away with it when I really shouldn't. Don't be diving towers too far or just trying to 1v5. I mean, if people are smart, they will CC you down and kill you before you can get your ultimate and whatever else off. Also, just try to keep in mind to keep an eye on your teammates. The added buffs that you can get, especially from Pillar of Dawn and your Emblazoned Sweep, are very helpful in team fights. So it is in your benefit to try to stick around your teammates and give them these buffs in fights. And I think that about covers everything for do's and don'ts of Shiva. There really isn't a whole bunch to share, just especially for don'ts, just because Shiva is just in a really good spot right now in Smite. He's just really good. Honestly, a little bit broken, not gonna lie. It's super easy to snowball with him. All right, that wraps up my guide for Shiva. If you stuck around from start to end, bless your soul. I appreciate you. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. The only other thing I'm gonna add is if you can think of any quality of life adjustments for my videos, or anything you think I can improve my guides for you guys, let me know so I can implement them. Anything helps. I'm always looking to improve. Again, I can't thank you enough for everyone that has been watching my videos and giving me feedback. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next God Guide. Now get into the battleground and destroy some people with this broken ass God. Ciao.